Hello everyone, it's MaddDog32, aka JMW Dolphin Fan, and we are doing a little quick video on a game I enjoy playing a lot, Watch Dogs Legions Online. Specifically the online portion, and this is going to be a general tips for recruiting type video. So we're just going to get right into it. Remember, this is for fun. I'm not an expert, but I do have quite a bit of hours online, so, I feel pretty confident in this video. But anyway, we are here at a section of the map that I want to show off real quick. This allows you to do a fight club that gives you 30 XP, and usually there's a DJ out here, which we'll talk about in a moment. And there's a couple Clan of Kelly affiliated people that occasionally have Albion Vendettas and LMGs and things. And at nighttime, there can be a hitman that spawns up here. But anyway, we're just going to get right into it. So, early on, you're not going to have that many recruits. And the reason I felt like making this video is because you would not know how often I come across people who do not have decent recruits that are at least 7 hours into the game. I do not think it will take you more than 7 hours to get a very decent set of recruits early on. So, we're just going to get into some of those recruits, and pardon this weird glitch bullshit. It's online's buggy if you didn't know. But we're going to get into it. So, this is obviously for people who have probably no DLC. If you have DLC, obviously, those characters are the best. We're not going to, talk about them too much today, because I'm going to make a whole separate video when the final DLC operative comes out. But, yeah, anyway, back into it. So, this is the construction worker. They have probably some of the most important perks to get early on. So, first things first. They come with a cargo drone. To collect your weekly drops, you actually have to usually fly around and go to specific spots. So you can do it without a cargo drone, but it tends to be quite difficult. They also have a wrench, which is a melee weapon. Melee weapons go through block to some extent, to varying degrees. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I feel it's more of a bug on the game, less of the effect not working. They also come equipped with a nail gun, and the nail gun is actually pretty strong. The only downside to it is that it obviously doesn't have the fastest fire rate, and it doesn't have a lot of ammo, but you'll be picking up ammo quite frequently, and worst case scenario, you'll go grab some ammo on purpose. What I would suggest, though, when you have a construction worker, obviously have the AR cloak. The AR cloak is probably the best gadget for any non-specific operative. If you have them, try to make sure you get a construction worker and not no carpenter or anything like that, because carpenters can roll with nail guns and berserk, which is a perk we'll talk about. But that would not be as good as a regular construction worker. So go for the construction worker probably as your first recruit. They usually tend to run for like 10 to like maybe 13, 15 influence points, so they're not that expensive. But after that, there's a recruit I think you should go for, and that is the DJ. Now, as you can see, the DJ rolls with some perk variation, obviously, but can roll with Berserk and a vehicle. That is pretty useful. Now, the only downsides to the DJ are that they have no actual guns. They can only use shock weapons. But I feel that their ability, which is this one, it messes up everyone in an area, which stuns them, which allows for a big old, you can take a bunch of people down and stun a bunch of people and help out the team. They're a support character at the end of the day, but they can actually do a lot for the team. So if you're like, oh, my construction worker died, having them on your roster will actually help, because then at least you'll be helping the team. They also have a perk that boosts their damage, the ability charge rate, and everyone around. I'm pretty sure it boosts their damage, but if not, it boosts everyone's damage and their ability recharges anyway. So once again, it's mainly a support character, but I think this would probably be a good second pick after your construction worker. And then after that, we would probably head for the Royal Guard. And these people are outside of Buckingham Palace, and they tend to spawn. They always spawn with the uniform access for their place, and the G23 or G38, whatever the hell it's called. They spawn with their gun. It's the best gun in the game, in my opinion. I don't think any gun really outclasses it particularly. And they can spawn with Physically Fit and Berserk. I've not seen one spawn with 4 perks, but it's not necessary to even have them with 4 perks. Obviously, don't take any negative perks because we'll get into that a little bit later, but we don't want any negative perks at all on our roster. So, yeah. But they can spawn with Berserk or Physically Fit. Obviously, you want to take Berserk because I haven't got into it quite yet. But Berserk starts health regeneration on kill. This is singly, hands down, the most important perk to have on any recruit, unless they're special. And we'll get into some special recruits that don't require it, but if they can have it, are twice as good. But yeah, so those three, it would be the construction worker, the DJ with Berserk and a vehicle, and then the Royal Guard with Berserk and his gun. And you have a pretty solid early on roster. Um, After that, honestly, you probably want to go for a. If I can find him real quick, because I don't remember what he looks like on my roster anymore. Here we go. The Spy. The Spy comes with some interesting perks. They come with their Silence P9, which is not that useful online, seeing as in most stealth situations you want to just use your fist so the enemies won't shoot you. But that's also fine though because they come with an actual gun, and guns overall that are not shock weapons will deal more damage. So for the general rule of thumb for recruiting online, do not take any shock weapons unless their perks are amazing, like on the DJ. The DJ is really the only person that comes to mind, because the only other character would be a first responder, but they tend not to have good perks. But anyway, so they spawn with this. They spawn with the Spy Watch that will actually stun everyone's guns so they can't shoot, which is pretty amazing. They also can spawn with a vehicle, the Spy Car. It can turn invisible, has rockets. It's fun. If you want a character you can use to drive around outside of the DJ, like I said, if they spawn with a vehicle, that would be some fun times. And obviously Berserk, because it's the best. Outside of those for active recruits, so we're going to talk about some passive recruits you probably want on your team. You're obviously going to want a medical person to shorten team injury. This one has team injury release, but you want a character that's shortened team injury so your characters stay injured less. It's not that important though because online you tend to get arrested. Injuries only count for if you like fall off a building or something. So having a lawyer or two or a police officer, I believe I have this police officer that has shorter team rest time, which this is a pretty decently rare drop. This is the only one I found with that, but you can get it. Ironically, they do not spawn with guns, but they do spawn with a taser gun. That's pretty useful, not that useful. But yeah, so those would be some passive ones you want to go for. Everyone else after the fact, you have your Clan Kelly and Albion members. Now, they can spawn with a variety of perks, as you can see. I particularly like the Clan Kelly Enforcer with the spider turret, and the LMG is my personal preference for Clan Kelly members. But they also get ones that spawn with with revolvers, normal pistols, and grenade launchers, and any variant will be fine. Now the thing with that is those are good recruits to take early on, but you not necessarily if you want to kick some people off your roster, they would be up there because the uniform access for the most part online is not that useful. But um, but you could totally recruit them early on and be just fine. Like I said, I wouldn't keep them too long. The only reason I'm keeping these is because I like the way they look and things, and that's just how I like them. Um, this is an important perk. So we're going to get into this now. For regular people that don't have specific perks like, DJs and professional hitman and spies and things, they can spawn with a Vendetta. So Clan Kelly Vendetta and Albion Vendetta. These are also two perks that you probably want to look out for. It just will basically give you a damage boost 50% of the time. They'll never spawn with both, I'm pretty sure. You never spawn with Clan Kelly and Albion, but you will be able to spawn with at least one of them, and that will greatly increase your damage. For example, this is a weapons dealer. You could find them a lot in the area I'm in. Like I said, they tend to be Clan Kelly affiliates, which means they look like Clan Kelly members, but they are, not necessarily a Clan Kelly member. But you can find them all around. You can find a couple around here. But as you can see, mine, he came with an LMG, Albion, Vendetta, and Berserk. This would be a good, if you're running around and looking for a decent character to possibly fill in your roster, this would be something you would look for. Because that's just 50% more damage on not 50%, but you have a 50% chance to do more damage to one of the factions in the game. There's only two, and you have an LMG, pretty amazing, and Berserk, which will get you pretty darn far. A thing to avoid is shotguns in most degrees. For the second raid, Project Omni, having an upgraded shock shotgun or a character with a normal shotgun is nice, but for the most part is not necessary. This character I have, the bellhop right here, is pretty rare. I've never found the second one, but he has Gun Kata, which instantly take down with any gun in his hand, which is pretty useful. It's one of the better perks. Semi-auto shotgun and scavenger. Now scavenger increases loot picked up and increases ammo pickups and the amount of ammo you can hold. So that's an okay character. I have them because they have these unique perks on them, but I wouldn't stress too hard if you don't have that type of character. But what else is there to speak about? Like I was saying, though, uniform access is not that useful. But for the most part, this is the type of setup you want. Because after getting all those starter recruits, oh, here's another good one. This one has Kelly Vendetta, Berserk, and a AK-47, which can be switched out with the G23 if you have a character who has it, because it's generally how it works. But yeah, for the most part, if you've gotten some of those recruits, you'll be pretty ready to go on to the first raid called Leader of the Pack. And once you complete Leader of the Pack and learn, the intricacies, you'll be able to recruit a professional hitman. Now, I think hands down, the professional hitman is the best character in the game, and I'll explain why. They come with 2 guns, which is already pretty nice. Granted, the Desert Eagle is not amazing, but the G38, G23, whatever the fuck it's called. You know what I mean. This gun is actually, like I said, the best gun in the game. They can roll with Berserk. It is a kind of rare spawn, not really, but you can definitely find a couple. I have 2. So look out for Berserk. Berserk, remember, is always the most important perk to have in the game for non-specific recruits. Well, you know what I mean, non-specific as in not DLC or prestige. But having Berserk is amazing. They come with combat roll. This allows you to hit X, roll in combat, and instantly reload any of your guns. It's pretty amazing and quite useful for just general gameplay. They also come with Gun Kata. This allows them to instantly kill anyone. So not only if you turn invisible with AR Cloak will you be able to do that, you will also be able to do this if you have Gun Kata. So once again, that would be the general tips, and we're just, in this last part, going to go over some characters you probably want to avoid. For example, the Stage Magician. I've never caught them to spawn with more than 2 perks. It is not that useful. They're not that useful overall. This Staggering Strike, not that useful a perk. Touch Drunk, taking less damage while drunk is not that useful. This character you can get actually at the Fight Club I'm currently standing outside of. This is an okay character. I wouldn't take them. This is a character I see a lot of people that are newer to the game recruit because they look cool and they have some cool perks. If you can get one of these to spawn with Berserk, I'd say for 11 influence, that's okay. Like I said, I would just say for one of those characters I said earlier, you should probably start with. Characters from MP5s and, Berserk and faction damage, always amazing, so those are characters you love. Drone Experts. Drone Experts is another semi-specialty class, kind of like the Hitman or the Professional Hitman or the Spy. Not really useful online, probably wouldn't recruit them. Same thing with the Get Arrow Driver, pretty useful online, wouldn't recruit in most parts. Now this character is interesting. They have a silenced MP5 and a improved stealth. This looks amazing on paper. Problem is, no Berserk. They don't. Silence weapons are not that good. It's an MP5, so it's good. But improved stealth, once again, is semi-useful, but not that useful, seeing as in, your most best way of stealth is to just punch things. But here is an older character. Now, old characters tend to spawn with low mobility, which no cover and no sprinting. Don't ever recruit anyone that is old. ETO on ammo pickups is an okay perk. It's not that useful. I wouldn't take it if you have to. Another Living Statue. I picked this one up because it has some decent perks, but most of the time you will not find a Living Statue with these good of perks. Don't recruit Living Statues. And this is a Clan Kelly Captain. So these characters, I've seen a couple that have spawned with Berserk. If you can find one that's a Clan Kelly Captain with Berserk and this weapon and uniform access, this is a pretty decent also starter. But for 20 influence, I wouldn't necessarily do it. Um, but yeah, I feel I've covered most of the bases. Not all these perks, like I said, are useful. Like gas immunities, semi-useful, but not that useful. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for the most part for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I helped you somewhat get a good little starting guide um, to Watchdog Legions online. And I'll probably title this video something strange. Oh, one last thing. I don't know if I said it, but grenade launchers are semi-useful. Once again, not that important to get, but you do want one eventually because sometimes your daily challenges will require it. But outside that, nothing particularly left to say about this game. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys hope this video helped you out, and I hope in the future you check out my channel for all the other things I do, because I do other things. Yeah, and I will be back in the next video talking about some of the characters. Where is it? Some of the characters that are prestige. Now, they're not going to be the DLC ones, they're going to be characters like this. But that's for a whole different video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.